Oh god, I hope it doesn't have that hideous light from the MTs. No, it doesn't! It's not an ogre, Dave. Welcome back to Long Way Home, everyone. The place where getting your motorcycle news is easier than not spinning during the Turkish Grand Prix, but not by much. Yamaha has just unveiled their 2021 Tracer 9 and the Tracer 9 GT. No, they're not new models. You would be forgiven if you thought that. Dave definitely had a hard time. Originally, Yamaha called it the MT-09 Tracer, the MT-09's not-so-naked sibling, then changed his name to the Tracer 900 2 years ago, and now got bored again and renamed it to the Tracer 9. Same bike, 3 different names. Find some other ways to amuse yourself, Yamaha. But all that aside, let's go into a bit of detail and see what the new sports tourer is all about. Stick around. The Tracer 9 is the standard model, while the GT is the more premium version with high-respec components. They are pretty much completely revised compared to the outgoing models, all the way from their frame to their suite of electronics. The only thing they probably still have in common is the badge, so expect the new Tracers to feel completely different than what you're used to. Just look at that newly designed instrument panel. How can you look so old while being completely new? What does it remind you of? Come on, let's do a little exercise here. The first thing that comes to mind when you see this.
If I may suggest, deafness is always a good approach to law enforcement officers.
That's it. This is Kit from Knight Rider. We'll get back to the electronics a bit later, but firstly, the engine is the same triple as on the MT-09, and while being larger at 890 cc's up from 845, it manages to be lighter. Torque has gone up to 93 Newton meters, which is a lovely 6% increase, and power has also increased to 118 horsepower. Lots of components inside the engine have been either replaced or completely redesigned, from the fuel injection to the cylinders, crankshaft, rods, etc. All in all, this cross-plane triple should bring a smile on a lot of people's faces. And for the cherry on top, it's now more fuel efficient than ever. Combining that with the increased fuel tank sitting at 19 liters or 5 gallons, you should get around 400 kilometers or 250 miles from a single tank, which for any touring rider is welcome news. The frame is another place where Yamaha spent quite a bit of time tinkering. The new design is a lot thinner, up to twice as thin in some places compared to the older one, while boasting increased rigidity and of course decreased weight. Yamaha says it offers a much better front end feel, and with a longer swing arm compared to the MT-09, straight line, high speed stability should be no issue. Now, let's talk a bit about electronics, a place where the new Tracer 9 is no slouch. The same R1-derived 6-axis IMU provides all the data needed for the bike's computer to control the cornering ABS, traction control, slide control, the wheelie control, the brake control, all of the controls, and the 4 different riding modes. Which of course means that the new T9... Oh, now I've gone and done it. I've given Yamaha a suggestion for a new name change. The new T9 comes with ride-by-wire throttle, which of course also means electronic cruise control, now standard on both models. The instrument panel consists of 2 3.5-inch TFTs mounted next to each other. The left screen shows key info such as the speed, riding modes, revs, etc., while the right-hand screen is divided into 4 sections, which can be configured to show whatever info your heart desires from the trip computer. While the styling bears close resemblance to the previous model, if you take a closer look, pretty much every panel has been updated to be sleeker. It has a sort of adventure-ish look to it. I'm not personally in love with it. The front end just looks weird, like a mix between an Africa Twin and a Transformer, but to each their own. Full LED lights all around as standard complete the package. While the base T9 comes with 41mm KYB forks, the GT version gets upgraded to electronically controlled suspension, which automatically adjusts damping settings in response to inputs from the bike's IMU, is user-controlled for a harder or a softer ride, and should be an absolute pleasure while touring. The GT version also gets an up and down quick shifter as standard, cornering lights, heated grips, and hard panniers. Availability should be in April next year. A lot of countries will only be getting the higher spec GT version, which for comparison in the US will cost $14,900, almost $2,000 more than the outgoing model. This is quite a ballsy move by Yamaha. $2,000 is a lot to swallow. But at least on paper, this bike is a lot more feature-packed and ready for comfortable touring than ever before. I like it. I like all the changes they've done to the new Tracer. It reflects what's pretty much become of the motorcycling scene in 2020. Electronics and comfort. But let's hear it from you. Has Yamaha made you curious, at least with the new Tracer 900? Let us know in the comments below. And also someone please tell me why the bikes in the press kit only have one auxiliary light on. It's driving me crazy and I can't find the answer anywhere. Did they just burn out and somebody kept taking photos? Well, that's the show for today, everyone. If you've enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up, and if you think you've learned something new, consider subscribing or becoming one of our patrons to help us make more of these shows. Cheers, and I'll see you on the next one.